morning, everyone. Welcome to Wake Up in Yoga. My name is Allie. I use she, her pronouns. And I am on the ancestral lands of the Tuscarora, Shakori, Eno, and Lumbee, also known currently as Durham, North Carolina. Thank you all so much for being here with me today, for opening up your weeks with me. This is my last week doing this series. This is week 4 of 4. And next week, a friend of mine and wonderful teacher will be taking over for the next 4. So today we will, for Wake Up in Yoga, we will build a little bit on the last few weeks. If you've been here, totally fine. If you haven't joined, of course, everyone is welcome. And I'll instruct through all the poses, but we'll start on the ground, do some sun salutations, especially since it's so nice and sunny here in Durham this morning. And then do a balancing pose, and then end again lying on our backs on the mat. So it'll be about a 25-minute sequence. You can grab any props that you might need. I always have a blanket that comes in handy a lot. And then if you want blocks or a couple books stacked on top of each other, anything like that might always be useful, but definitely not necessary. So go ahead and grab those if you have them or if you'd like to have them. And then for comments, there is an option on Facebook to add comments. Feel free to drop in where you're joining from today. Would love to know where people are, and I'll take a look at those at the end of class. So thank you to Global Breath, VegFest, and Orgain for sponsoring this series and allowing us to share space together to open up the week. And with that, let's get started. So today, we'll start in child's pose. So go ahead and come into child's pose. Maybe you want your knees wide, so they're as wide as the mat, toes touching one another, and then drop your seat towards your feet. Your tailbone might not necessarily come all the way to your feet. Maybe it does. Wherever that is, that's fine. Reach your hands out long away from the toes. And then maybe your forehead meets the mat. Again, maybe it doesn't, and that's fine too, especially in the morning. With this being the first pose, it might take a little bit of time to warm up to be able to have more of that space. Wherever you are, find your breath. Begin to notice and drop into how you're feeling this morning. There's so much going around us all the time, and probably lots of things coming up in the week, but this is a moment just to spend time for ourselves and really being present with how we woke up this morning and where we are right now, noticing what we truly need in this moment. So tap into that and know that whatever you're finding out as you listen to yourself now, whatever you know that you need, feel free to do that throughout the practice. If you want to stay here in child's pose or lay on your back, that's totally fine. Otherwise, I'll be guiding us through some poses. You can take what you like, leave what you don't, or modify in any way that you need, making things appropriate to what your body is asking for. So reach those fingertips long in child's pose. Seat reaching towards the heels. And find the space in the back body. Finding some stretch in the low back, in between all the vertebrae in the spine. Coming back to your breath. We'll take just a few more breaths here in child's pose. Your next inhale, make your way up to tabletop position. rooting the hands into the earth and the knees and the tops of the toes into the earth. And we'll do some thread the needle to open up the shoulders and the back. So plant your left hand down onto the mat and reach your right hand up towards the sky. And then tuck your right hand underneath the left. So you're threading it through towards the left side and coming onto your right shoulder. Maybe your head drops down towards the mat and left hand can stay near your head, or it can stretch out long across the mat if that feels good. Above your head, or the left hand can really come wherever it feels best for you. Finding a stretch in the upper back, in the shoulders, in the chest, and feeling the twist in the spine. When you're ready, bring your left hand back close to the ear, and then reach the right hand back up towards the sky, and then drop it down into tabletop. Coming onto the other side, we'll reach the left hand up towards the sky, reaching tall, and then reaching the left hand through underneath the right arm, letting the head drop towards the floor, coming onto the outside of the left shoulder, and then right hand can stay by the face or can crawl out long above the head or come to any position that feels good with the right arm. Breathing into the stretch, beginning to open up the upper body. And then bring the right hand back close to the face. And reach the left hand up towards the sky, opening up the chest. And then come back into tabletop position here. We'll find our cat-cows, which are really great to open the body, open the spine. So on an inhale, lift the gaze up towards the sky, nose towards the sky, tailbone up. And then on an exhale, round the spine, nose comes towards the chest. Inhale, gaze lifts, tailbone lifts. And exhale, nose towards chest, tailbone towards the floor. Inhale into cow. And exhale to cat. Go through a few more rounds at your own pace. Finding movement, waking up the spine, and preparing for the rest of the movement throughout this practice. And then when you're ready, you can find some more organic movement, or maybe you've already started to do that. But circle around the wrists, maybe, or circle around with the sit bones. Bump the hips side to side, whatever feels good for you. Wherever you have some sticky spots, work into those. And throughout all of this, maintain the breath. Move with your inhales, move with your exhales. When you're ready, make your way back into neutral and tabletop. And we'll come very slowly into our first down dog, being careful not to push too hard on this first one, but tuck the toes, root the hands into the earth, be strong with the hands and the arms, and then begin to lift the knees and lift the tailbone towards the sky. Sit bones dropping back towards the heels, but lifting up at the same time. Letting the heels drop towards the earth. Maybe the knees are bent or straight. Let the head drop and hang heavy. And then doing your best in this first down dog to find a long line of energy between your wrists and your tailbone. Breathing into this down dog, this strength pose and stretch pose. Looking for some strength, balance, and ease here. And then slowly we'll walk our toes up towards the top of the mat, just tiptoeing up so that your feet come in between the hands. We'll hang and forward fold, again letting the head fall towards the earth. Maybe your knees are nice and bent on this forward fold. Being able to stretch out the back body here, letting the belly rest on the upper legs. And then if you have space, you can find your ankles with your hands and then tuck the forearms behind the calves. So you're kind of hiding your forearms from yourself. You can't see them. Keeping the knees just as bent as they need to be and letting the head hang heavy. Stretching out the spine. Finding the inhale. Finding the exhale. And then very slowly we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time. All the way into standing, into mountain pose. Finding a nice stable base here in mountain. Feeling connection between all parts of the feet and the earth. Grounding here, shoulders come back and down. Chest is proud. And then from mountain, we'll come into a few sun salutations. So I'll walk us through this. We'll go slowly on the first two. Coming on either side, 2 times on either side. So we'll inhale and sweep the arms up overhead, finding a nice stretch here between the feet and the fingertips. And then on an exhale, fold down into forward fold that comes towards the mat. And inhale, step the right foot to the back of the mat, dropping the right knee down towards the mat. Up onto your fingertips and the chest shines forward. And then on an exhale, bring the left foot to the back of the mat to meet the right. And then we'll drop our knees to the mat. And then slowly drop your chest and your chin to the mat so that your tailbone is up towards the sky. This is called 8-point bow. And then point the toes and slide forward into a low cobra, opening up the heart, gaze is forward. Elbows are in towards the body. And then on exhale, come back down. Push your way into tabletop position. Tuck the toes, root the hands into the earth, and then come into the next down dog. Find a few breaths here in down dog. And we'll step our right foot towards the top of the mat. Left knee is on the mat. Chest is forward, gaze forward. And then step the left foot to meet the right in forward fold. And we'll sweep our arms up overhead. And bring palms together and palms towards the heart. That was one side. We'll go on to the next. So bring the arms up overhead, reaching tall. And then exhale into forward fold. Finding the stretch in the back body, letting the head hang heavy. And then inhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat, left knee drops towards the earth. Gaze is forward, rub on our fingertips. And then on an exhale, bring the right foot back on the mat to meet the left in plank. Drop knees to the mat, chest and chin to the mat. And then tuck the toes and slide through into cobra. Maybe you stay really low in cobra, maybe you come a little bit higher. And then exhale, drop chest back towards the mat. Push up into tabletop position. Tuck the toes. Lift the tailbone. Drop the heels. Come into down dog. And find 3 breaths here, down dog. And then on an inhale, bring the left foot to the top of the mat. Drop the right knee. And then bring the right foot to meet the left, finding our way into forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, drop palms towards the heart. Now we'll go through another round on each side, but I'll add in a few more poses on the ground. So inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, palms to the heart and down to the ground into forward fold. Inhale, right foot steps back, right knee on the ground, chest forward. And then from here, maybe point the back toes and we'll come into our Kapiyasana or monkey pose, which is a playful pose. You can use a blanket to pad the back knee if you'd like. And then maybe bring the hands towards the left knee. Or maybe hands can come up overhead, lifting the chest tall and arms reaching up towards the sky. Maybe the hips even bump forward a little bit if you have space for that. And if your arms are overhead, you can choose to find cactus here, opening up the chest, opening the heart, and reach the arms back overhead. Maybe one more cactus with the arms, hands by the ears, and reach the hands up overhead. Then we'll drop the hands back towards the mat to frame the front foot. And then bring the seat back towards the back foot, lifting the front toes so they're up towards the sky, straightening the front leg a bit, and finding half splits here. Walking hands wherever they feel best along the front knee, along the front leg. Then find a stretch in the back of the left leg. You can fold over the front leg or keep the chest forward, whatever feels best. And then walk the hands back towards the front of the mat to frame the left foot. And then bring the hands to the inside of the left foot, walking the left foot out wider on the mat to make space for the hips here in lizard pose. In lizard, you can keep the back knee down, or maybe you want to find a more active lizard, bringing the back knee up. And then you can stay here on your hands, or maybe bring your forearms to a block, or maybe to the ground if you have space for that. Chest is forward, gaze forward. Breathing into this deep stretch in lizard. And you stretch on the insides of the legs, maybe the front of the back leg by the hip flexor. Two more breaths here in lizard. And then if your back knee is lifted, drop the back knee, come back onto your hands. And then we'll bring the left foot to meet the right at the back of the mat. Again, drop knees, chest, and chin towards the mat into 8-point bow. Point the toes, slide through into cobra, maybe lifting a little higher here. And then chest back towards the mat, push up into tabletop position. Tuck the toes, lift the seat, and come into down dog. 3 breaths here. Then we'll bring the right foot towards the top of the mat. Left knee finds the earth, chest forward. And then bring left foot to meet the right. Find our way into forward fold on exhale. Inhale, arms up overhead, reaching tall. And exhale, palms towards the heart. I'll go to the other side. So inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, palms through center, down towards the ground and forward fold. And inhale, reach the left leg towards the back of the mat. Drop the left knee, chest forward, gaze forward. And then maybe find the padding under your left knee. Bringing the hands towards the right knee, onto the right knee. And then maybe your arms reach up overhead into our Kapyasana, or playful monkey pose. Reach the fingertips tall. And maybe cactus your arms, opening the chest. Inhale, reach towards the sky. And exhale, drop the hands to frame the ears and cactus. Inhale, reach tall. Maybe bump the hips forward a little bit. And on an exhale, we'll drop the hands to frame the foot, frame the right foot, and then walk the hands back along the right leg, lifting the right toes. Sit bones are above the left knee. And we're in half splits. Finding that nice stretch in the back of the right leg. Right toes up towards the sky. You can bring your nose closer to your right knee, or keep your chest and gaze forward. Inhale. And exhale. Feel the stretch in the hamstring and the calf. Maybe even the outside of the right leg. And then we'll walk our hands back forward on the mat to frame the right foot. Bring the hands to the inside of the right foot and walk the right toes towards the right side of the mat, finding space for the hips in lizard. Again, in lizard, you can keep your back knee down or lift your back knee for a more active lizard. Maybe moving around a little bit. Finding the spaces where you need the stretch and the movement. Staying up on your hands or dropping forearms to a block or to the ground. Gaze is forward. Always coming back to your breath. Allowing that breath to move you deeper into a pose. Maybe you're not even moving physically deeper, but finding that depth and that purpose in the energy body, using your breath to bring the focus back to the pose. And then if your back knee is lifted, drop your back knee towards the earth and bring the right foot to the back of the mat to meet the left. Drop your knees, chest, and chin to the earth. An 8-point bow. Point the toes, slide forward into cobra. Maybe you come higher in this cobra, maybe even to up dog. opening the heart, and then drop your chest back towards the earth, push into tabletop, tuck the toes, reach the sit bones high towards the sky and back, let the heels drop. Notice if this down dog is any different from your first down dog. Finding that line of energy between your tailbone and your wrist, letting the head hang heavy. And 2 more breaths here in down dog. And then we'll bring the left foot towards the top of the mat on the inside of the hands, dropping the back knee. And bring the right foot to meet the left in forward fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. And on an exhale, dropping the palms down to heart. Maybe letting your hands drop towards the sides of your body to find mountain pose. Coming back to your breath here in mountain. And then from mountain, we'll bend the knees and slowly work our tailbone down towards the mat. Maybe you come up onto your toes here. So we're kind of crouching but staying on our toes. If you can, from here, lift your hands off the mat and find prayer pose with your palms together at heart center. Find a little bit of balance here. Breathing in this toe stand. Maybe finding a little bit of stretch at the bottoms of your feet. And then when you're ready, drop your tailbone back towards the mat. And find our way onto our backs on the mat. With the knees up towards the sky. Then root the feet into the earth, shoulder blades into the earth. And begin to lift the hips up towards the sky, finding a bridge pose. Thighs are parallel to one another. We're finding space in the front body. Maybe stretching out the quads, opening the heart towards the sky. And on an exhale, drop the sit bones back towards the earth. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Maybe roll around a little bit, side to side if that feels good. Massaging the muscles along the spine. And then we'll bring the feet back towards the earth, knees towards the sky. Lift the right foot and wrap the right leg around the left. Bring hands and arms out into a T or into cactus arms. And then drop the knees towards the left side of the mat. Gaze out over the right shoulder. Finding a really nice twist here. Twisting out the spine. Bringing some flexibility to the back body, the front body. So we can move more freely throughout the day. Maybe opening the chest, opening the right side of the hips, glutes, quad. Breathing deeply into the twist. And bring knees back towards the center. Both feet onto the ground. And then lift the left foot and wrap the left leg around the right. Letting the knees drop towards the right. Letting the gaze come out towards the left fingertips. Again, just going in this twist to whichever point feels good for you. Bringing attention to the internal organs that are constantly functioning throughout the day. We often don't even notice, but in twists, we get to help all of those organs do their job, to help them rid the body of any waste that's in there. Inhale, exhale. Then on your next breath, come back to center, knees towards the sky. And maybe hug your knees in towards your chest one more time. Thank your body for being in this practice. And then let the feet drop towards the earth. Maybe let the feet come long away from the head, arms drop down on the sides of the body, coming into Shavasana, our final pose. Feeling all the places where the body is contacting the earth. Letting the whole body relax and absorb all the benefits of the practice we just did. Maybe feeling a little bit more energy, a little bit more open to move into and through the day. Bringing attention back towards the breath, we'll find a deep inhale, filling the chest, filling the belly, and exhale. One more time, filling the throat, chest, belly with fresh air, and exhaling all the air out. Bring some movement back into your fingertips, into your toes. And then maybe reach the arms up overhead, away from the toes, finding a nice stretch in the body. And then slowly roll onto one side, whichever side feels good for you. Maybe resting the head on the upper arm. And then giving yourself plenty of time, letting the head come last. Roll up into seated. We'll meet each other in a seated, cross-legged position. Again, bringing the attention back to the breath. And we'll end practice with the sound of Om, universal vibration connecting all beings, connecting all of us to one another. If you'd like to join, we'll exhale all the air out, and then inhale, and then on the next exhale, making the sound of Om. So exhale all the air out. Inhale. Thank you all for being here with me today. May your inner light shine bright and shine bold. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you. I'll slide forward. If there's any comments, anything that you liked or didn't like about class, or maybe you want to share how you're feeling, I'd love to see any comments y'all have. Other than that, again, my name is Allie. I am a new teacher with Global Breath Studios in Durham, North Carolina. This is my last week doing this 4-week series with VegFest. Next week, one of my amazing friends will be starting her 4-week series, so that's definitely something to come back for and to watch. Thank you all so much for joining. Again, leave any comments that you might have. I love any feedback or any suggestions for improvement or things that you're looking for in a morning practice. Thank you again to Global Breath, to VegFest, and Orgain. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I hope you have just as much sun wherever you are in the world. Take care.